Hello learners, welcome back to my channel Shraddha's Physics. Here we are continuing the unit 3 part. So today we will see the electric field due to the polarization of a dielectric, and that after we will see the relative permittivity. So in the previous lecture we have already discussed about the dielectric, that is, this dielectric has the property of transmitting electric force without conduction. And that after we have already discussed about the polar and non-polar molecules, that is, in case of non-polar molecules the center of gravity of the both charges, that is positive as well as the negative, they will coincide at a point, that is, we can say that since there is no separation between the two charges, so the net dipole moment is zero in case of the non-polar molecule. And again, if you apply some external field to this non-polar molecule, so then there will be charge separation, or you can say that if you apply the field in this particular direction, then the positive charges they will move in this direction, or we can say that since the negative charge will move in this direction, so there will be a deficiency of the other charge, or there will be positive charge here and the negative charge here. And in case of each molecule the exact same thing will happen. So there will be separation between the negative charge and positive charge. So the dipole moment will develop, or we can say that there will be a small electric field in case of each individual molecule, and that is suppose denoted by EP, that is the polarizing electric field, and it will be in the direction just opposite to that of the applied electric field. So if E0 is the applied electric field and EP is the after polarization, this is the polarization electric field, then you can see the resultant electric field will be equal to E0 minus EP, since it is just in the opposite direction to that of the applied electric field. So this is for the non-polar molecule. So here we can say that even in the absence of any free charges, it will produce an electric field of its own when kept it in an external electric field. And in case of the polar molecules, there will be a charge separation in the absence of the external electric field. Already there will be a charge separation between these positive charges and the negative charge. So we can say that there exists a dipole moment. So as a whole, when no external field is given, then there will be already a charge separation. So there exists for the individual dipole, there will be a electric field. So there will be an electric field for each individual case. But since they are randomly directed, so the net field here will be zero. Here you can see that they are randomly oriented, so the net field is zero here. But on the application of the electric field, when you apply some electric field, then there will be a torque. So because of that torque, so they will just try to rotate that, or you can say that the alignment will be just parallel to that of the electric field. Or if the electric field is in this direction, then the negative charges will move in the opposite direction to that of the applied field, and the positive charge they will try to move in the direction of the field. So that here we can see the net electric field. So for all these molecules, the net electric field is just opposite to that of the field applied. So here the net field or the resultant electric field will be equal to E0 minus EP. We have discussed it briefly in my previous lecture. If anyone have not watched my last video, try to watch that first. Now let us come to our topic, that is electric field due to the polarization of a dielectric. So let us consider this is your dielectric slab. So let us consider a dielectric slab. It is placed between the plates of a charged capacitor. So these are your capacitor. These are your capacitor. So this is your charged capacitor. The charges are, this is your plus charges, and this one is your negative charges. They are present in this capacitor like this, suppose. Since this capacitor is charged already, so the capacitor, it sets off an uniform electric field, that is E0. So this uniform electric field, this is just because of the charged capacitor. So the net effect on the dielectric is produced, that is the induced positive charge density sigma p on the right face and equal negative charge density on the left face is developed, we can say. So now we can see here, suppose there are two charge plates, that is this one is your positive charge plate and this one is suppose negative charge plate. And here for the positive charge plate we can say this is your plus sigma, that is because of plus sigma is the charge density of the capacitor for this one, and this one is minus sigma, that is the charge density for this capacitor. Now if you will introduce a dielectric slab, let me change the color, just a minute. Now if you introduce, this is your dielectric slab, if you introduce a dielectric slab in between these two parallel plate capacitor, then what will happen? So because of the presence of that molecule, whether it may be polar or non-polar molecule, the charges will move accordingly. So since here the applied field is in this direction, that is E naught is the applied field because of this charge plate capacitor, so that here the negative charge, they will move in this direction. So the negative charges will move in this direction, so that the positive charge will develop, or the positive charge, they will be move in the direction of the field, we can say. The positive charge will move in the direction of the field, or the negative charge will move in the direction just opposite to that of the electric field, that is E naught. So here in case of this dielectric, we can say that here in this part the charge density will be minus sigma p. So here the charge density is minus sigma p developed, and in this part the charge density for the positive charge carrier, so the charge density will be plus sigma p, and there will be a electric field developed, and that electric field direction will be just opposite to that of the electric field applied, that is for the E naught the electric field will be EP. Suppose this is in the opposite direction to that of the E naught. This EP is called the polarization electric field, and here this plus sigma p and minus sigma p, these are called the induced surface charge density. Okay, these are called the induced surface charge density because they will just try to oppose the field that is being applied here, or we can say that they will try to oppose the electric field, that is E naught. So here we can say that these are your induced charge density, or the field developed here, that is EP. This is the induced electric field, that is it will just try to oppose this electric field E naught. This electric field EP, it will try to oppose the electric field E naught. So the net electric field of the dielectric, so the net electric field in the dielectric, that is equal to E naught minus EP. So here the induced charge density sigma p on the dielectric, it will be less than the free charge density sigma on the plate. That is, you can see that the sigma p, you can write sigma p will be less than sigma. Sigma is the charge density for the parallel plate capacitor, and sigma p are the induced charge density for the dielectric. Okay, now we will see the relative permittivity. So the ratio of the strength of the applied electric field to the strength of the reduced or the net electric field, that is E, on introducing the dielectric between the plate of the capacitor is called the relative permittivity of the dielectric medium. That is, we can write the relative permittivity or the dielectric constant K will be equal to the applied field divided by the net electric field in the dielectric, that is E naught divided by E. And you know this net electric field E will be equal to E naught minus EP. EP is the polarizing electric field. So here we can write the applied electric field E naught equal to sigma by epsilon naught. Sigma is the charge density for the charge plate capacitor, and here EP, that is the polarizing electric field, equal to sigma p divided by epsilon naught. This sigma p is the induced surface charge density, or sometimes this EP is also known as the induced electric field. So this induced electric field will be equal to sigma p divided by epsilon naught. And also we can write the net electric field E equal to E naught divided by K, and here the value of E naught equal to sigma by epsilon naught. So simply substituting this value, then this E equal to sigma by K epsilon naught. Okay. Now here let me write this E equal to E naught minus EP. The net electric field we know equal to the field applied minus the induced field developed to oppose that applied field. So now if I substitute this value, E equal to sigma by k epsilon naught equal to E naught equal to sigma by epsilon naught minus this will be sigma p divided by epsilon naught. So taking epsilon naught common, so we can cancel this epsilon naught from both sides. So here sigma by k will be equal to sigma minus sigma p, or sigma p can be written as sigma p will be equal to, this is your negative sign. So when I will take to the left hand side, this sigma p will be equal to sigma minus sigma by k. So simply taking sigma common from the right hand side, this will be equal to, this is equal to taking sigma common 1 minus 1 by k, or this is simply written as k minus 1 divided by k whole into sigma. So this is the relation between sigma p and sigma. So here you can see sigma p, that is the induced surface charge density, will be equal to k minus 1 by k, that is the k is the dielectric constant, whole into the sigma. Since k is always greater than 1, the induced charge density sigma p on the dielectric, it is less than the free charge density sigma on the plate. So here mathematically we have already also proved that sigma p will be less than sigma, because for example if you will put the k value, you know it will be always greater than 1. Suppose you put k value is 2, so 2 minus 1 divided by 2, so 2 minus 1 is your 1 by 2 means this is your 0.5 sigma. Sigma p will be equal to half of sigma. So from this it is clear that the sigma p will be less than sigma. Similarly, you put any value of k, so you will always get sigma p will be less than sigma. And again, if there is no dielectric, that is when k equal to 1, sigma p will be equal to 1 minus 1 divided by 1 into sigma. So this will be equal to 0. These are the important points. And if dielectric is replaced by a conductor, so for the conductor, the k value or the dielectric constant is equal to infinite. So if I substitute this value, you can see we know the electric E equal to E naught divided by k. Since this k is infinite, so this will be equal to 1 by infinite is your 0. So this will tends to 0. And also you know from this expression E naught equal to sigma by epsilon naught, or you can write E equal to sigma by k epsilon naught. So here this sigma by k epsilon naught, this value since k is infinite, so 1 by infinite is tends to 0. So here this is also tends to 0. So from the above expression, in this expression, if I will put this sigma by k epsilon value, this sigma by k epsilon naught here, this is equal to 0. So in this part, if I will substitute this value to be 0, then sigma by epsilon naught will be equal to sigma p divided by epsilon naught, or you can simply write it as sigma will be equal to sigma p. So the surface charge induced on the conductor, it will be equal and opposite to that on the plate, resulting in a net field of 0 on the conductor. So the net field, that is E equal to 0, and for the conductor the sigma will be equal to sigma p. Okay. So we conclude that for when there will be no dielectric, so for that case sigma p will be equal to 0. But if the dielectric is replaced by the conductor, then the net electric field will be 0, and sigma, that is the surface charge density for the plate, that is surface charge density on the plate, that will be equal to the induced surface charge density on the dielectric. Okay. So this is all about your today's class. Thank you all.